Ariel Helwani post-fight at the Ultimate Fighter finale in Las Vegas alongside the victorious Will Brooks, who won his UFC debut tonight. Congratulations, my
Thank you,
man.
man. I
Has it
appreciate it.
sunk
Thank
in?
you. Yeah, man. I mean, I think it sunk in when I signed the contract, and then, then I kind of got into that fan mode once I was here during the week and went to the weigh-ins and all that stuff. So, but after weigh-ins, I flipped the switch and was like, yeah, it's time to go to work.
At any point did it feel overwhelming? We hear about the octagon jitters and all that stuff, and we often see guys come from other organizations and underperform. Were you ever afraid of that?
No, not at all. I trust in my abilities. I trust in the game plan that my coaches put together. We had a short training camp. We only had 3 weeks, so it was somewhat game planning, and some of it was just go out there and have fun. Just be in your own space, control what you can control, and ignore you're fighting in the UFC, you're fighting on a big stage, and just have fun. So it was pretty easy to flip that switch.
Were you happy with your performance?
I was somewhat. I wish I would have been able to do some different things, but I think I made a mistake with my weight cut, or actually putting the weight back on. I was eating too much and put on a lot more weight than I wanted to put on, so it kind of slowed me down a little bit. And it's just things that you have to figure out. Now that we have these early weigh-ins, it gives you all day, like almost 2 days pretty much, to get back to weight and put it all back on. So you have to be smart about how you do it. And I think I kind of made some missteps, took some missteps along the way, but I'm okay.
Because that's the first time you had the early weigh-in, right?
Yeah, that was the first time, and afterwards I typically after a weigh-in I'm eating maybe every 45 minutes, but after this weigh-in it was all day, so I was eating like almost every 20 minutes. I was eating full meals, and it was just a mistake on my part. But overall, the performance was good. I felt good. I really wanted to stay in the pocket with him just because I think he was really focused on my wrestling. So I wanted to use that as an advantage on him and just stay in the pocket with him and kind of push forward and keep him from being a pressure fighter that he is. So overall, the performance was good. I just wish I think I'd do a better job with a full training camp.
Couldn't help but think about you yesterday when Eddie Alvarez became the champion. Of course, you guys have a history, and I was wondering if you feel like it will work to your disadvantage that you have this history in Bellator, like the UFC may be reluctant to book you guys because that history is in Bellator. Will you have to work harder to make this a UFC rivalry as opposed to a Bellator rivalry that they will capitalize? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't even think there's a rivalry, really. I think it just happened that the way things kind of took place with him leaving the organization and then me kind of stepping in and fighting for that championship spot, it just kind of worked out like that. But I think more than anything, we have a fun rivalry. It's not so much like a Claudia and
Right.
a Johanna rivalry, or John Jones and Cormier. It's just us having fun, so as competitors. But I got work to do. This is my first fight. There's guys in front of me, so I got to get a fight with the top 10 guys. So then we'll see. Then we'll be able to figure out what happens after that.
How far away do you think you are from that discussion, though? Seriously.
I don't think I'm that far.
Yeah.
I think what happened was it was just the timing just worked out where I needed to take a fight. I needed to get back in there. I wanted to compete. A lot of the top 10 guys were already booked, so it was one of those situations where you had to make a decision. Do I want to sit around and wait for somebody to possibly get hurt or something like that? And for me and my coaches, we decided that the best thing for me right now is just to get in here and get it done and get some money in the bank, and get back to competing. So I think I'll be right on track.
Final question for you. I noticed on your Instagram this week you put the hashtag I can get used to this after the open workouts.
Yeah.
And you really opened up a couple weeks ago on my show talking about your trials and tribulations, and I think a lot of people respected you doing that. You look around this is the big leagues. Let's call it like we see it.
It is.
I mean, do you have a moment where you're going to go back and maybe how are you going to take this all in? I mean, you made it. You realized your dream. You've been talking about this for 2 years, and it happened, and you won, and you're on the track. I mean, how do you internalize all of that and now use this to keep going forward?
I think for me it's a pretty easy thing just because I knew I was going to be here. I knew it was just going to be a question of when and how much time it was going to take to get here. So me and my coaches and my supporting cast, my fiance, my family, they always treated me like I was already here, So we kind of just did everything we could to be prepared for this. So yeah, it just feels like I'm home, man. And the way the staff has treated me since I've been here, they haven't treated me like a new guy. They've treated me like, hey, you were supposed to be here. We were planning on you getting here. So, that helped the transition. So all the octagon jitters and all that stuff, there was no such thing for me because the way I've been treated since I've been here. So it's been a crazy experience, but you only have so much time where you can be caught up in the moment. You have to get on track and get on your mission to get the title. So that's what I'll do.
What a year for Will Brooks. First-time father, wins his UFC debut, and next week you're getting married. Holy cow, I should say. An unbelievable year for you, my man. Congratulations. Enjoy it, and good luck. And mazel tov, as they say, as you get married next
Thank
week.
you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.